Hello, Miriam, and welcome to our first episode of Jewish News's new series, Candid with Candice.
Cool. I can't believe it's the first episode. This is so exciting.
Yes, you're my first. Welcome.
Wow. Woohoo.
So, for those who are practically living under a rock and have not seen your Netflix show, how would you describe yourself and what you do?
Let's see. Okay, so I would describe myself as a person who loves many things. Uh, First and foremost, a computer person. I love engineering. I've been coding since I was 13. I've built over 10 iOS apps. And then I grew up in a very religious community, and the show is kind of about my family getting out of that community and our lives outside of it. So right now, I just graduated Stanford in engineering, and I am a
Congratulations.
content creator. Thank you. I have my own podcast called Faking It, and really, I just try to inspire women to live their best lives. That's kind of my purpose. Yeah,
Oh, I love that. And you definitely do that.
thank
So,
you.
I believe that you have relocated to San Francisco. Can you tell us a bit about what you're up to there?
hmm I'm pretty bi-coastal, I'll say. So half the time in New York, half the time in San Francisco. But I've been doing more studies. Even though I graduated my undergraduate degree, I've been studying more at Stanford. And so I like wanted to study more social sciences. So I've been studying philosophy and psychology and like random classes. Like right now I'm taking a class on Islamic studies,
Awesome.
which is really cool. Yeah. And so I've been doing that along just all the other things, contract work and podcast work. Yeah.
You do it all. And how has your time in the startup nation, San Francisco, influenced the way you see like the tech world in general?
It very much influences the way I see the tech world. I think that San Francisco is just tech people mostly. It used to be very diverse. Now it's very homogenous. It's just all founders there, all engineers there. I moved there when I was 16, and I loved it because I was finally amongst a group of people who were the same as me.
Mm.
I was like finally amongst people who just wanted to build for the sake of building, which was awesome. And now I would say I'm kind of more with a group of people that like they're all founders, they all have their own companies, or they're all thinking about starting their own companies. And it's really great to just talk to these people who are all just very much self learners, self builders. And so I kind of like being amongst those kinds of people.
Right, like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
So, what is a typical day in the life like for you, both when you're filming and then again off screen?
Okay. Well, when I'm filming, I'm in New York. So I'm with my family in New York. And it's honestly, like, at least for season two, they've just been there from like 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., just full day filming. So I'd wake up, cameras would be rolling. I'd go to my mom's room to get hair and makeup done for like 20 minutes. And then sometimes I was like, it depends on my mood. Sometimes it would be like 10 minutes and sometimes it would be 20, but it would never be more than that. That's like season one, I was like, I need to look perfect, and so I'd
Yeah.
be on the chair for like 30 minutes. And then season two, I was like, I don't care. So 10 minutes max. So I'm too lazy. No mascara,
Yeah, I know you're a
like
natural
stuff like
now.
that. Supernatural, which is more me,
Mm.
that's just like, I don't really like to wear so much makeup and things like that. And I think like because we had two seasons, the first season, it's all, this is so new. Like, I don't know. I want to be on my best behavior and look the best and
Yeah.
act the best. And then when season two comes around, you're like, just show up. You're just like, this is me. Like, like there's snot in my like. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So
No, I
yeah.
like that.
So
I think it
I
means
would
you
just
like maybe you gained more confidence along the way, like less makeup,
one
more
hundred
me.
percent, 100%. It's not even the confidence. It's more that I remember when I like after filming season one, there's all these scenes where I was like, oh, I'm so nervous about the scene coming out. I think people are gonna like hate it, or I'm so embarrassed about this one thing. And then the show came out and nobody said anything about that scene. It didn't matter. And like I built it up in my head, like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. Then I realized that people really just don't care. Like they're just like there for the laugh.
No,
They just want to
totally.
like
I tell
have,
myself that on a
yeah.
daily basis. I'm like always overthinking, and then I'm like, no one actually cares. And then,
Right.
you
Like
can just.
nobody's, yeah. No,
So
totally. Yeah.
that's when you're filming. Tell us about a day in the life
hmm
off screen.
Off screen. So today is like a good example of a day in the life off screen. So I usually I like going to sleep semi early and waking up early. So I wake up at like 7:30 a.m. around 7:30, and then I do some sort of workout. So I love Barry's boot camp. I love running. I'm running a half marathon in like a week and a half. So I'm training for that.
You
And
literally do it all. Sorry, side note.
I love being like super athletic. I think especially because of my community where I came from, that's been the thing that like really pushed me outside of the religion because that was what I struggled with the most. Like I always wanted to play sports, and
Hmm,
as a girl, you're not allowed to. So even now, like I'm still making up for lost time. I want to like compete in everything. I want to do everything I possibly can do. I want to be the strongest I can possibly be, just to like prove to myself that I'm capable, and also just to feel good. Like I love talking about fitness as it relates to mental health. Like
hmm.
I don't think about my body when it comes to fitness, and I try to talk about that all the time. Like it's not about how I look. I don't think about how much muscle mass I'm building or how toned I'm getting. Or like to me, it's just about, do I feel good in my body? You know, like if I
Totally.
run, do I feel energetic when I'm running? Like do I feel like I can breathe? Like that's my metric of good exercise. And so love doing that. So after I do that, um, I usually like skateboard to WeWork. I have friends who work at WeWorks, and I don't really like doing work in my apartment at all. So I'm very into like location based like working style. So if I'm home, I'm not like doing any sort of work at all, or I'll be playing guitar, hanging with friends or family, just that.
I
And
like
then
that. You
I leave the house
separate
at
the
like,
worlds. Yeah,
yeah, that's super important to me. Just because also like psychologically it's been proven that like when you go to a space that's a workspace, then you are more like in the right mindset to like get work done. The same thing like why people who have insomnia, they say that you shouldn't do work on your bed because your bed is just for sleeping. So if you go to bed, it
100%.
helps you like, yeah.
No, you're literally
So
you're
stuff
like
like that.
speaking out of my mind because I know with sleep hygiene, I had a little bit of insomnia when I first moved to London, and they said to me like remove all devices out of your bedroom, just focus on sleep in that room, and just that change did it for me. So well said.
Totally. Exactly. Yeah. So I go to the WeWork, bring my little packed lunch. My friend, I got actually really lucky. My friend lives on like a lower floor of the WeWork that I work at. Not lives, he works, and his work gets catered lunch. So I usually just like, if I don't make myself lunch, then I just go there and I just eat lunch with him at his office, which is very nice.
Love that for you.
Um,
Oh, wait, pause.
Thank you.
Why do you why do you skateboard to work?
I just love skateboarding. So,
You're so San Francisco.
um,
I love
it's a
it.
Yeah, skateboarding I learned in SF. I learned when I was 17. My friend Fiona, one of my oldest best friends, she like got me into it. She introduced me to this like female skater crew. And I remember when I was 17, we would just, me and like four other girls in our like baggy pants would just like skate around San Francisco and like by mistake bump into people. Like just like everyone would be watching, like, who are these girls just like skating, you know? We felt so cool.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
envied girls like you. I tried so hard to skateboard and I'm not athletic. I gave up. But very
It's pretty
cool.
fun,
Sorry,
yeah.
back to, so you would have your lunch or sidetracking.
Yeah, sidetracking, yeah. So skateboard to the office, go up, sit somewhere with tons of natural light, and then do my work. My work consists of like my studies because I'm still studying. So like my readings for I'm studying right now. I'm like specifically studying moral philosophy, feminist philosophy, and Islamic studies, and I'm studying Hebrew, like the language. So those are
Amazing.
like the four things that I'm like doing my like readings for and my reflections on whatever, and then also content creation. That's how I like make the dollar bills, you know, that's how I pay for my life.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, just like making content, going all over the city, going to Silicon Valley, going to Stanford to do interviews, podcast interviews, meet people, or I drive up anywhere, like I did an episode in Sacramento. I interviewed like a female weed farmer person who had her own like weed farm and company. It was super cool.
Very cool.
Um, yeah, so just like stuff like that. And then after that, finish, I work until like 5, 6, 7 p.m. and get dinner, friends, by myself. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I play guitar, practice guitar. Yeah.
I like your day in the life. It's colorful, diverse. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Um, so following on from that, Does it bother
Okay.
you that, like, arguably you're more known for being a reality star than this, like, Stanford grad engineer?
That's a great, yeah, I totally hear that question because some people are like, "Oh, I didn't know you're smart," like when they like talk when they talk to me, and like I am not upset about it because if I didn't have this TV show, I wouldn't have the platform that I do. And on my platform, I talk about these things. I talk about tech. Like, I make posts about Sir Juana, like Inez de la Cruz, like feminist philosophers that I love. And like, I get to still share this part of me on my platform. And I wouldn't have that platform if not for the show. So I think that they are very much intertwined, even if not directly. Even the fact that we're talking right now is because of the show. And so I'm
Totally.
happy. Yeah, so I'm very happy about that.
Well said. All right, so in July of 2021, I remember it like it was
Yeah,
yesterday. My Unorthodox
cool.
Life premiered on Netflix, and your family pretty much became like instantly famous. Can you
Mhm.
walk us through that period in your life?
Yes, okay. Let's see. I was very nervous. It's been building up for a while. Like it took a couple months for the show to come out, so it was very much like a countdown. And it was pretty sudden. Like I remember on Instagram, like there's a couple of things. So one, the Jeff Jenkins, he is the like one of the creators of our show. He's super awesome. And he
Shout
was
out to
pretty much like
Jeff.
kind of prep. Shout out to Jeff. He was like prepping me for like get ready Miriam, you're about to get like a lot of followers. Like on Instagram I had probably like 2,000 followers, 1,700 followers. I was not active on social media at all. I was not a social media person. I didn't have a Snapchat. Like I didn't like using my phone for social media. And he's like, get ready, you're about to like blow up on Instagram. And I was like, okay, like you know?
Yeah, he was
And then
hyping
and
you
he's like
up.
also he was hyping me up, and he's like also be wary. People are gonna want to be friends with you because of the show. He's like
Mm,
girls are gonna like throw themselves at you. He's like you have to be wary and like learn how to navigate like this kind of life. And it was really great talking to him, and like he would even connect me with other people that like would just help me navigate what it's like to have followers and be a public figure. Um, but I would say the fact that I went through all this with my family made the experience really amazing because as I was growing with my followers and as people would want to talk to me, the same thing was happening to my sister and my mom and my brother. And so we all
right.
had each other to go through it together, which I think made like a world of a difference. So it wasn't a lonely experience at all.
Mm.
And so that was what's really cool about it. And then, yeah, I kind of just started posting on Instagram because I was like, okay, now I have these followers. Let me do something with it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what
Yeah,
happened.
leverage the platform, and that's also great that you mentioned you had the support system of your family. I didn't think about that at first.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what are some of the like amazing opportunities that you've been privy to since the show aired?
A lot of opportunities. I mean, for one, I would say the reach that I have in terms of like my podcast, just being able to DM somebody that I think is really cool. I mean, like, hey, I want to interview you for my podcast, or I want to talk to you, and then being able to get a response from them because I'm like verified and because I have followers. It's like these very like superficial things that actually do help me with my brand. I think is like really cool with in terms of who I get to talk to. Um, and then besides that, I mean, like I love a lot of the things I do. I also speak at a lot of female empowerment events, women in tech events. That's like my favorite thing ever. Like going on stage and talking about how you can be like a boss ass bitch, and like the steps to take to do that and just empowering women. Like that is literally what I care about. And so being able to get women into tech, talk about these issues at like a big scale makes me so happy. And so I would say that's like the biggest opportunities I've been getting from
That's
this.
awesome. And
Yeah.
on the other side of things, what were some of your like biggest challenges as a result of the fame from the show?
Yeah. Let's see. Biggest challenges. I mean, for one, it separates you from other people in a way. So like dating's a great example. you know? Like
I
I
was going to
it's
ask you about
sometimes
dating. I know it's quite a nosy question, but keep coming, keep
that's
talking.
another thing. That's yeah, you're like, great, I didn't even have to ask. But I mean that's one part of it. That's one part of it too in terms of privacy. I had to accept to just throw out the idea that I have privacy anymore in my life. that was the only way that I can really do this, was that I said to myself, okay, you have to accept that you don't have that like privacy anymore. And if you do, it's on a very small scale, you know, it's like only like very random things that you share with your family.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that definitely, accepting that mindset was a challenge. Once I accepted it before I started filming and before I decided to do the show. So it's actually like me making the decision. I know that if I do this show, I have to throw out the notion of having privacy in my life. That has to do personal privacy, like dating, or, you know, like if I have a hard day and I'm angry and somebody records me and posts it and whatever, then like that's a possibility. When I'm at a restaurant and I'm talking to a friend, I always in the back of my head think that somebody's listening to our conversation. Always. And it's happened before where somebody is listening to the conversation and then comes up to me and said, oh, like something about what I said with my friend, you know? And
That's
so,
crazy. Like even in a
yeah,
restaurant?
so that's, yeah, yeah. So like, I just have to accept that there's no privacy with what I say in public, with what I do, with my life. But I've accepted that because it's the price to pay for like what this life comes with, and I really enjoy having these platforms and being able to like do these kinds of things that I do. So it's
Well,
worth it for
totally,
me.
totally. But
Yeah.
do you at times feel like paranoid?
Paranoid? No. Sometimes it's just like uncomfortable. Like I remember when my partner and my ex and I, we broke up a year ago, and it was like the day that we broke up, I flew back to California. Worst idea ever. Just like a pro tip, do not break up with somebody and then go on a plane the same day. Like I didn't know that you're not supposed to do that, but I did that, unfortunately. Or like
Tell me
have
why.
broken up
Why
with
is it
somebody
a
yet.
bad? Why is it a bad idea?
Tell you why. Because I was just an emotional wreck, and you know, I was just like trying not to cry the entire time, which did not happen. And then somebody came up to me as I'm like mid tears, you know, they're like, hi, oh my gosh, I love your show, like can I take a photo with you? And I'm just like in a hoodie, like my hair's all disheveled, I'm like all my face is red from just crying so much. I'm like, sure, you know, yeah, we can take a photo. And I'm just like smiling through the fan, like yay. And then after that I'm just like
Shame.
drained. Yeah, so that was tough. That was
I mean,
like
can you
some
ever
of the
just be
things that
like,
happened.
no? Can you ever just be like, I don't want to take a picture right now. Like, I'm
I
crying. I'm dealing with a
could,
breakup.
yeah, I could, but I don't know. There's something like I think that's part of this show too. It's like it's you know I'm representing this kind of person, and so I just want people to like be able to get that too. So I don't know. I never like had that mindset. I'm always like yes to when somebody wants to take a photo and things like that.
That's really
So
cool of you. That's really mature that you've like accepted this way of life and you just embrace it and you move.
yeah,
And not everyone can do that. I mean, like, I'm sure. So,
yeah. So
moving on to keep on track with our questions, were you worried about the backlash from the Jewish community when my Unorthodox Life first aired?
I mean, not that the Jewish community in like the whole Jewish community, no. I think that the only kind of like worried that we had, it wasn't even worried, it was just like a very particular sect of the Jewish community. But in general, the whole Jewish community was very, loved the show. They love the fact that like there is a Jewish family being featured in a reality TV series, because that's something that's like super rare.
I mean, you guys
So
are like the
yes,
Jewish
overall, no.
Kardashians, in my
That's
opinion.
what they coined. Right, that's what they coined. Which is, I'll take it. I think it's a compliment, you know?
Roll with it. They have
Yeah.
like an empire.
hmm
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what does Judaism mean to you now?
Great question. I just did an episode on anti-Semitism yesterday, a podcast episode. I recorded it. So I've been thinking about it a lot. Judaism to me is not just like my blood. So I took a 23andMe test and it came out to be 99.8% Ashkenazi Jewish. So it's very much like in my veins is my Jewish identity, you know? But on top of that, it's really the community that I'm a part of that I'm proud to be a part of. I love the idea of the underdog in life, you know? Like I always am rooting for the underdog, and I feel like being Jewish is being the underdog. We've always been pushed to the side, considered the other throughout history. Even now, there's like a lot of anti-Semitism going on, and so like I started wearing a Star of David on my neck just to really show the world that I'm proud to be Jewish
Yeah,
and
I
that
noticed
I want
that.
to
That's cool.
represent this identity. Yeah. So.
And how do you respond to anti-Semitism? I mean, I don't know if you've ever personally experienced it, but like, what do you say?
Well, I don't really, whenever, like, I have gotten some, like, comments on my Instagram, like, very anti-Semitic comments, I don't respond. I never respond to hate comments ever. So my response in general is just to be louder about my Jewish identity. Like, that's how I respond to the haters. It's like, I am Jewish. Just by saying that out loud and saying I am Jewish and I am proud, that's it. Like, that's my response to all the hate.
I
Yeah.
like that. Like when they try and like shade a negative light, you just go more positive with your Judaism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty, now we're going to shift gears. Season 2, there was a
Yes.
lot of drama with your mom being sued by her lovely ex-husband. Can you share an update with how she's doing today?
Well, he dropped all of his lawsuits, so that's cool.
I saw that.
'Cause they're all,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, she's doing all sorts of things right now. She has a company that she's working on. There's a couple more shows that are in the works. I can't really talk about it too much, but she's continuing to be the badass person that she is, and is just, I can't say too much, but that's pretty much all I can say. Yeah.
No, that's cool enough, and it seems like she's doing better than ever. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Now back to your relationship status.
All
I hope
right.
you don't mind me asking, but like, what is your relationship status? Are you single right now?
Right now I'm single, and yeah, I'm single.
Are you good? Because are you open to being set up? Like, what are your thoughts
Oh,
on like a
interesting.
modern shidduch?
A modern shidduch. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm open to it. I think why not?
Amazing.
Why? Do you know somebody? Like,
Yes, I'm like an unofficial matchmaker.
are you
Okay,
serious?
I swear.
Oh,
Like I've done
cool.
it for a few of my friends now. It's worked out once. Once is
Wow.
something. You could be the second. So
They say in, like, Orthodox Judaism that if you set up a match and they get married, that's like a fast track to heaven. So,
oh, trust me, I know. Apparently, I need 3 and I'm going to heaven. So you could be my second. This is
right.
amazing news. We'll chat after.
Cool,
Okay,
cool.
cool. So you've answered all the big questions. And now we're just going to
Yeah.
do like a little short, straight to camera. I'm going to ask you these 1-word answer questions and as fast as I can, and you just need to answer.
Sounds
Sound
good.
good? Alrighty.
Yeah.
Favorite app right now?
Hinge.
Love that for you. Favorite fast food?
Thanks. I like Five Guys fries.
Standard.
That's my favorite.
Biggest celebrity crush?
Haley Kiyoko.
Ooh, it's an interesting one. Current role model?
I love Jackie Robinson. He's not alive, but
I thought you were going
he's
to
a role
say your
model.
mom, and I was going to be like, me too.
It's a basic answer.
Yeah, I know
But
exactly.
yeah, my mom, obviously.
Right. Top NFT token to buy right now?
I want to say my own NFT.
I like it. Bit of
for my
self-promotion.
Yeah, it's called, check it out. Faking It Podcast NFT is pretty cool.
Got it. I'll
So,
check that out. Favorite date spot?
There's this bar in New York City called Bar Hugo that's, like, so underrated. Nobody knows about it, and it's super cool. So I like that
Okay.
spot.
Maybe you can take the person I want to set you up with to that place.
All right, cool.
Favorite country to visit?
Hard question. I love India,
Ooh,
actually. Yeah,
that's a cool answer.
Indian food's awesome.
All right. Favorite influencer?
My sister, Batsheva Hart.
Of course, you have to say that. I was going to be like, me too. No,
That's
she's
true.
definitely one of my favorites. She's amazing. Favorite politician?
Swati Maliwal. You know who that is? She's super cool. She's like a feminist politician in India, actually. Speaking in
I'll
India.
give her a Google after. I do not know. And last but not least, what is your favorite book to read right now?
Condoleezza Rice's memoir is one of my favorites, and then also my mom's memoir, Brazen. I'd say both of those.
Love that. Okay, well, you answered those questions like a champ. Like, we are done.
Cool.
How did you find them? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Very good. Thank you. I'm very excited for this.